Oh, you know what? I'm gonna try another trick that I do often.
This is such a weird head.
Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Like, I feel like if it's not already, should be like the official art form of Burning Man.
Wow, yeah, that's awesome. Oh my goodness.
Alright, like I said, now I'm gonna start going in with darker colors.
I didn't think about this being so fluffy, that there'd be so many little shapes I gotta get in there. Right, I have to draw color. I do not care. Odd mixes of color. Oh geez, I got sidetracked. I had a story.
Kinda hot mess. In the best way!
What? It was foreshortened and all that.
But then he switched the dank shit.
I grew up being an absolute dork. I'm an actor, musician, an artist. You're a chaos goblin that will be drawing. I am blocked out of any other layer. And I am here for a live stream. Thank you for joining. Hello, my friends! Welcome yet again to another episode of Live at Lava Sub. I'm Lava Sub. You can call me Weston. Today it's a Halloween drawing. Ooh, scary, spooky, ooh, creepy and weird. I've got this cursed image of myself up in front of you. I'm very vulnerable. Do not tell me I'm not. Look at, I have two sets of teeth. Look at those eyes. If they don't scream, eldritch horror to you, I don't know. I'm sorry. That's all I can say. Is I am sorry for you, not sorry for my inability to creep you out. And yeah, I'm basically ready to go. I've got an idea of where I'm going with this. They already say I'm a goblin today. I'm doing goblin-y things because this is so creepy, so weird episode of Live with Lava Sub because it's seasonal. It's seasonal, and I'm a traditionalist. Yes, I do really enjoy Halloween as a holiday. It's probably my favorite one. I'm a performer. I like being in costume. And when I was little, my mom always used to make us these really crazy costumes. It's always been kind of my favorite time of the year because you get to try on a new skin, you know, a fresh face, a fresh persona, and put it out there into the world. And even though performance isn't necessarily like so much of what people are doing, I think it's just inherently a part of the day, the celebratory mood. And a lot of what I do as an artist is actually pretty much exactly what I'm going to be doing today. Making people portraits into fantasy and other types of making one creature into another creature. It's my jam. I enjoy it very much. And this is going to pose an interesting challenge because you see there's some motion blur in here. If I'm being honest with you, this is a photo reference I took for Pit Peregrine Ponderoski of the Ironhearts. My sweet boy, my sweet bard. You can see I've got like this shield, and in this hand, this thing that I'm holding that is just kind of a funky blur. That's a very weird paintbrush that I made out of a corn husk and old barbell that I had lying around that doesn't have weights on it anymore. A homemade one that my dad made that I've just held on to forever. Don't ask me why. It's weird, and I low-key wonder if I'm a hoarder sometimes. I understand. But, as I'm saying, you know, this is going to have some... I'm going to have to throw in some of my imagination here to make this drawing work. So I can be a little looser with this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good old fun time, my friends. So, sit back, relax, watch me doodle, ask me questions in the chat. Starting off just by... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start off just by hitting the silhouette really hard. And we'll work from there. So I'm going to get just a nice middle of the road red color right there in the center, as it were. Something that's going to be good for like a nice cartoony base. We can just darken and lighten for highlight and shadow. Build clothes off of it. You know, this is trying to simplify the process. As you can tell if you've watched any of these streams before, I tend to get way more into detail stuff and lose my mind on it just about every time. So we're gonna try and dodge that bullet today. Let's see if we can do it. Got Akira on in the background today. I don't know if any of you feel the same way, but I think Akira is probably one of the greatest films ever made. Period, hands down. No argument. I don't. Live action, animated, doesn't matter to me. I think Akira is one of the most beautiful, most poignant stories that has ever been told. And I think it has a lot of messages in it that are just as valid today as they were the day they made it. Yeah, it's marvelous social critique, as well as a lot of just really great, just incredibly detailed animations. The aesthetics are absolutely premium, and really it kind of, I feel like so much of the cyberpunk genre kind of owes a lot to Akira. I'm sure that's something that people talk about, but it's not part of the conversation that I've, I always hear a lot of like the authors who kind of helped pen the stylistic lingo and whatnot of the genre, like Gibson and what's his name, the dude who wrote Snow Crash, Neil Stevenson, I think, I can't remember, but aesthetically, Akira is so much that, like, I don't know if anybody's been watching the Cyberpunk TV show based on the game series, but a lot of that show's aesthetics feel, I mean, it's so Studio Trigger. You can't take anything away from that crew. It's some of the best animators in the business ever, but you can see like a lot of, I mean, obvious inspiration from Akira. I think that, is a fair thing to say. I don't think I'm stepping on toes here when I say it. Because yeah, after Akira, what hasn't been influenced by Akira, in the sci-fi, cyberpunk kind of genre of things. In many cases, I'm sure influenced by a lot of the same things that Akira was influenced by. I've always had a problem with the idea of trying to do this live action. I mean, I'm one of those people who believes anything is possible in live action, to take an animated film and make it live action and make it really good, to adapt things. I'm not one of those nerds that's going to get butthurt over all that kind of stuff. I think it's great. I just want it to be done well. I want it to. I don't think it needs to be the original, but reshot for live action. Although I honestly don't know why you wouldn't do that. But there's a lot of great stuff in the manga that the animated film tends to or had to leave out, essentially. But I think it was done I mean, it couldn't have been done more respectful because it was done by the person who wrote the manga. Had a heavy involvement in the adaptation. So it was obviously a very respectful, very just such a solid understanding of the overarching story and the characters that um, it understood. They understood inherently what needed to happen to make it work in a film, and the results are they speak for themselves, you know. Regardless of my opinion. Uh, just for anime's sake alone, I don't think there's many people who wouldn't argue that Akira is one of the most influential, um, best pieces of, uh, best examples of a great animated feature. Um, so yeah, beyond what I say, it's even more unaccepted reality by the greater community that really has much more of an awareness of that, because I love anime, I do, but I don't watch a ton of it. It's not something that I am always seeking out. It's especially because so much of it is so I have to kind of be in the right mindset to take in a lot of the stories that are done in anime. Uh, you know, a lot of very dramatic kind of twists and turns, and if you're not ready for that, you kind of like. I was doing a Hunter x Hunter before bed for a while, and I gotta tell you, at a certain point, there's that creepy bug part that comes in, and me and my partner were both just kind of looking at each other like, do we really want to do this right now? Maybe not. Maybe that's not so fun. Let's maybe not do that. You know what I want to do? I want to do something with this head. I don't want it to just be my hair. I love my hair, but let's do something fun. Let's put a little little cap on it. I'm a little congested today, I think, friends. So if you hear my mic go quiet for a second, it's because I'm probably blowing my nose. Ooh. Alright, well, speaking of being congested, I am actually refilling my water bottle, so pardon for the background noise. I got to do this before stream. Anyway, I was talking about Kira, I was talking about Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, Hunter x Hunter is a lot of fun. Until the bug part, and then I got scared. I was like, this is really stressful. All these cute characters that I adore, I want them to be okay. In shows like that, it's almost harder to take characters dying, because Hunter x Hunter's got such a big cast. It feels like a lot of the time you might not see that character that just died. They might be dead. So much of so much of media, I mean, especially popular media, is the rule of thumb is if the character is popular enough, they don't die. Not permanently, anyway, I guess except for Game of Thrones, yeah. And I'm not super familiar with George R. R. Martin's other work, but I know that it's like kind of part of his reputation is that he's not trying to keep these characters alive. Their deaths are significant to the plot often. So I wasn't like the biggest fan of Game of Thrones. In fact, I would argue I would honestly say I'm probably one of its biggest critics. That's because fantasy's my friggin' jam, dude. I love fantasy, and it's weird. I wanted to see it. I want to see it done to its best, and with a budget and actors and everything that show had going for it. It was sometimes frustrating to see how the story kind of followed the same kind of dramatic melodrama soap opera kind of storytelling format that so many shows have adapted in the modern era. It's not something that I enjoy. I loved wrestling, and soap operas are fun because the stories are ridiculous, but like because that's become such a part, like it's the format for so much of the media that comes out these days. It's not as fun to see everywhere, you know? I think it's best left to its own devices, you know? Like a lot of media, um, it's great when genres and types of storytelling uh, have their cross pollinations and things like that. But oops, but yeah, I just with Game of Thrones, a lot of the deaths didn't bother me that much. You know, I can appreciate a good character death or a big moment like that, and like Ned Stark made so much sense, but then it definitely became like this thing where yeah, it didn't feel like they were giving us that same amount of like um, care and attention to those characters' deaths, where it just became like, okay, well, this character's dead. Okay, you're kind of like waiting for it, and it's not like an excited like, oh, I bet they're gonna kill that episode. It's like, well, now they're gonna kill this dude. Obviously, this dude can't live. This lady, she's a woman. They're gonna kill her just because boobies, you know. Uh, but I loved so many of those characters. Oh, I'm sorry. What? Yeah, were there any people of color in Game of Thrones? I don't remember. Yeah. I mean, I think that was something they tried to remedy with House of the Dragon. I just, you know, I could definitely appreciate, like, them doing their best. Like, and Game of Thrones was one of the first shows that had, like, intimacy coordinators, and a lot of good things came out of that show, and I can't deny that. But, yeah, I struggled with the way that they told the story. I struggled with the way that they kind of like it. You know, it's set in a fantasy universe, but there is so little of that genre left by the time the show was out. You know, and running. It felt like tacked on. You know, unimportant to the grander scheme of things. You know, this isn't a fantasy story. This is a story of political intrigue and ruthless, vile people. And that's, you know, it's just not my jam. um, like I've brought up before, I think probably last episode, that I used to watch a lot of horror, and that kind of storytelling is definitely something that appealed to me at one point. But then I watched Steven Universe, and everything changed. And I was just like, man, why can't we have more nice stories that deal with real emotional issues that we're all going through that are relatable and interesting, and but done through this interesting science fiction-y lens? And I'm ruined now, I guess. I just don't like super edgy uh, material anymore. It doesn't seem like it's doing the job that it was meant to do in the first place, which was give us the space to talk about really difficult things. I mean, I think last stream I talked about how Gremlins, the first one, was more about the emotional impact of all of these things. You know, main characters, kind of like salesman dad who's never there, and kind of like an irresponsible old coot. Um, we have like the incredible monologue that Phoebe Cates gives about like her whole you know, why she doesn't like Christmas. But this in the second one is so much more um, like an absurdist kind of horror film that, you know, feels like satire and like political commentary that you see even more kind of like now. You know, it's kind of like this they're both doing these things that are big precursors to the way that we're telling horror movies now, you know, much more informed by the trauma of the characters, even like as an example like Babadook or Midsummer, to things like the more abstract and absurd things like Field in England, the Mandy from Nicolas Cage, and oh man, like so much of these kind of like big tropes that we're getting into now, we're kind of always being written for. Just a lot of the, I mean, especially I feel like Gremlins, both of those movies were a little bit ahead of their time. All this to say, what was I fucking talking about? Now I lost my train of thought. Ultimately, I used to love horror, and I at a certain point I kind of fell out of love with a lot of the edgy ways that they were telling stories. A lot of that more like kind of needless violence and kind of ham-fisted attempts, or just, you know, not even really full attempts at social commentary, but just kind of like throwing it in there because, you know, I mean, if we're being real, it's just part of how the industry has operated for so long. Not necessarily for social causes I believe in, but reinforcing kind of cultural hegemony, and like the inherent hierarchies of our society. And in a lot of ways, horror avoided that. A lot of the best horror writers, directors, tended to be able to subvert those kinds of messages with great art. Anyway, I'm rambling, and now I need to figure out what I'm doing, because I finished this this silhouette for the character. So now it's time to kind of like start really getting in, because I've got the I adjusted the hat for what I wanted it to do. Let's get the coat in here. Let's start with the coat. I think I'm gonna go like a nice, real dark greeny yellow, something that looks real nasty. Because I think I'm gonna do red. Yeah, I mentioned I was gonna do red flesh tones. That's why I have the big red silhouette. But yeah, almost a black green. I want it more. Yeah. Might even come out more yellow if we turn up the color. Yeah. Real nasty looking. Oh yeah, that looks like barf and tar. Barf and tar. Put it in a pot. That's my goblin song. That's called dinner, where I'm from. More goblin songs. Join the Patreon. I'll have a whole album for you. One of my favorite pieces of music in a work of fiction is actually Tolkien's Goblin Song, when they're taking the hobbits and the dwarves to Goblin Town in The Hobbit. There was this Mind's Eye, I think, was like a BBC connected company, and they did I think it was initially a radio broadcast of The Hobbit that I listened to. My grandpa was a big nut for radio shows. He was, you know, an old guy, and I'm old, so make that two olds, and now it's a really old program, is the thing. But he had these on tape, and when I was a kid, I think in first grade, my teacher read me The Hobbit, and I absolutely fell in love. Obviously, I'm a fantasy nut. and this was my introduction to The Hobbit. We sat there, and she read the book to us in class as part of, like, curriculum. I don't know if that's, like, what she was supposed to be doing, but she read us a bunch of really cool books. Yeah, her reading of The Hobbit. Afterwards, we watched the Rankin Bass movie, and yeah, I was sold. I wanted more Hobbit, so I think I got the books at a Scholastic book fair, and when my grandpa heard about this, he was like, "Oh, well, I have these books on tape about The Hobbit. You can just have them." And I listened to those tapes so many times. I wish I knew where they were. I think I gave them to my little brother at one point when he was trying to get into Tolkien, which he never did. He's not a fantasy dude. He's like he likes the beatniks and like Hemingway and authors that are like, those kind of dudes. It's not my bag, but he's my brother. He's actually a pretty friggin' great writer, so no criticism from me. I don't know any better. I'm just a humble little goblin. But yeah, I had these books on tape forever, and it's such a great production. And even like all the music is how I thought about the music. It actually kind of ruined the movie for me. Like, what's really cool about the way that the Hobbit movie did it is they took it. I know that Tolkien had some notes for how he like rudimentary music notes for how those songs were supposed to go. So I'm sure that both were following those guidelines, because the two are remarkably similar. The way that the movie did it and the way that this Mind's Eye production did it all the way back in, I think, the 60s or 70s. So I think both were following through with the notes there from the author, obviously, because of the similarities. But I prefer the Mind's Eye one. Maybe it's a nostalgia thing. Probably is. But it was so dramatic. It was, and like, I know there's so much drama in the film version of it, but it's hard to vibe on that track. You know what I mean? It's got a funky off rhythm. Very dirgy. But the Mind's Eye production felt like this, very bardic tale kind of vibe. And the song of them going into Goblin Town, the way that they produced that song is absolutely, it's probably available on YouTube if you want to go search it up. Mind's Eye Hobbit Goblin Town song, something like that. I'm sure you'll pop up with some results. Yeah, absolute banger. Undeniable. Oh, collar and okay. Lapel. Lapel. This is a nasty color. Oh my goodness, I love it. We love a nasty color in this house. Oopsie. I forgot to turn on my Do Not Disturb today. You might see my notifications. Don't look. Not allowed. My private life. Oh wait, I'm going into the hand. Don't do that. Okay. Oh. 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 Ah. Okay. I'm getting into character as I draw. Don't judge me. If I'm annoying, it's only because I'm a goblin right now, okay? Sam, my producer, says hashtag Art Goblin. But the funny thing is, I've been using the hashtag Punk Rock Goblin for the last like 6 months. So it's all in brand. The brand is strong. Oh boy, we're getting lost in the funk over here, friends. There's a lot of shadow in this image, and I'm gonna have to pretend I know how dimensions work. But luckily, I don't have to try that hard today, because a lot of this is just going to be kind of reworked and free-handed to make it make sense over time. Yes, that is how that works. And then folds up over here, and boop, 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 boop. There we go. And we bend in here, go around the shield, and up this way. Perfect. You see how that met? Like, damn, I'm good at art. Damn. Watch me. I got it. Hey, that looks not bad. That looks pretty decent. Pretty DCO. Cinema pretty DCO. Okay, that's done. Let's give this a little bit more of a rounded vibe here. A little more round here, please. There we go. I like that. That's fine. Oh, you know, we should do the hat this color too. Right? Yeah. Agreed. Thanks, chat. I'm chat! It's fine. I told you already, it's fine. Alright, a little tricky. Gonna just turn this red shade down so I can get around the ear but still remember how I was doing this hat in that image. I had a couple lines set in, so I don't want to lose them. Perfect. Like I said, she's really good at art. I'm she, the goblin. She, comma, goblin. That's my name. Don't wear it out. Oh my gosh. Okay, so maybe next stream I'll show you my Halloween costume. How does that sound? I have had the same Halloween costume for like years because I made it and I'm not gonna make another one yet. It's just like this. I made this funky mask a few years ago for I had like a whole phase of making masks. It was a blast. I don't do it much anymore. I would just go buy like a blank from, you know, Michael's or Joann's or whatever. And then I would paint over it and use a lot of textured mediums and stuff like that. It was really fun. It kind of got me into, I mean, halfway into sculpture for a minute there. I've never had the chance, but definitely always something that, like, once I had, like, I would use, like, these, this thick medium, for my acrylics that I would mix in, and then I would add like a slow drying gel to it so that the outer layer could start to dry, but the inner layers would take a while. So I would have some time to kind of like mold and shape these faces into proportions I wanted them in. I made one for I think I made a couple for friends. But yeah, it's definitely something I'm always interested in doing. If you want a mask, I'm more than happy to help. Actually, oddly enough, our whole channel concept started out as our good friend and my producer and just the general head of Nerdcrafty, the mind of Nerdcrafty. Sam's whole the channel, I'm pretty sure, started out as a mask making, although different kind of mask, at its onset. So in a way, we've all made our own masks. And if you're an actor, you've probably kind of interacted with masks in their own way, and you can kind of that it has like a pretty cool effect on like how you are able to get into a certain character. And the mask I made a few years ago definitely has it's a vibe. You can actually see a couple of them on my Instagram. Lava Submersible there too. If you scroll down for a minute, you will see it. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with those. Maybe it's time to do another. I actually have a blank sitting in a drawer of blank canvases, waiting for me to get to work. So, shoot, maybe that's what I'll do next stream. Let me know in the chat if that sounds like fun. All right, back to art. I'm talking again. Did you know the talking and art at the same time is kind of pretty wild? Give it a shot sometime. You'll see what I mean. I, however, am a professional. I'm really good at it. I don't know if you've noticed. Today, especially. Oopsie. What? Thank you. Just cleaning up some lines here. Don't want to lose this ear. In fact, I already forgot I was going to do a cool little pointily goblin ear here, so guess it's time. So I've got all the pieces of the puzzle here. Is there anything else I want to block in? No, not on this layer. Okay, moving on. New layer. What do I want to do next? I'm trying to go foreground first so that I can kind of layer that way a little more effectively. But the benefit of doing everything kind of broken into layers like this is that I have a lot of control in the first place, so I don't have to worry too much about it. Anyway, I'm not ready to drop the reference layer, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Let's go into the layer under the jacket. Kind of figure out what's going on under there, because I am still unsure. Do I want to keep this collared shirt? Do I want... Oh, I've got a little goblin with a funky Hawaiian shirt. You know, I don't hate that. This shirt that I'm wearing in this image is actually one that I don't know if I should draw attention to it. We have if you might be able to find it just by a simple search on YouTube, but I made a movie a bunch of years ago for my 25th birthday, I think. God, so over 10 years ago. Called Scoopaschetti, Dick for Hire, about a detective who got betrayed by his old partner. I made it for $0 on my birthday, and it was yeah, I think I've talked about it on stream before. I have to be very creative with the language around how it was made. But yeah, it was a really good time, and this shirt was worn by our lead actor, Ross Sullivan, uh, artist and actor and musician that I have a ton of respect for. He brought his own wardrobe to the shoot. And this was the shirt he had picked out for this kind of like unreliable, kind of zonked out detective character that he was playing. Detective Scoopaschetti. And I gotta tell you, there was nothing. It was, it was an incredible choice. It wasn't what I thought at the time I was talking to him about it. I had imagined everyone like way more hard-boiled looking, I guess, with like, you know, suits and coats and stuff like that. That was more. I was in a kind of noir phase at that point, and and Ross subverted those expectations in a expert fashion as usual. And yeah, especially once you see the way that he plays the character, it makes so much sense. I wish Ross did more acting. I haven't seen him in anything in a while, and but he, I don't think has ever gotten any actual like formal training or whatever. But dude was just a natural. Always was. Um, I know he was on social media. I know he's pretty private though. But if you're one of the handful of folks watching, go bug Ross. Tell him I sent you. He'll be very annoyed. No, Ross is a super talented artist. I'm sure he has something up on for his art. I hope he does, because he's super talented dude. I could have just filled that area instead of making it all squiggly, but that's fine. It's fine. Alright, well, I kind of forgot to stay on theme here, but it's not too late. I can do it later. We're just gonna do black pants. I don't want to mess too much with that. I guess we'll go find this real dark blue over here so that I can still use a black background like I intend to. I wanted to, if I have enough time, which probably won't, but if I have enough time, I'll start in on the background. I was thinking very dungeony kind of vibes for this little gobbo. Oh. I was looking at this like I guess I thought this was part of the pants earlier? That's definitely jacket. Pant go here. Okay, let's go back to that layer. Boop. And let's erase that little oopsie. Gonna have to go back to this. Let's erase this. And we'll hit it with that green again. Yeah, that's jacket. That's the underside of the jacket. We'll darken that up later. I'll probably forget, but I will obsess about it for weeks afterwards, don't worry. We have fun here. Alright, I'm just gonna fill. Big brush, big brush. Don't want to take too much time on this stage. Like I said, we'll add the light and shadow in later. It'll be great. Be a real party. Does anyone in here like Bruce Springsteen? I've been reconsidering getting into Bruce Springsteen because I've heard that like his songs are actually social critiques and not rah-rah American nationalism, which I always assumed they were because he has songs like Party in the USA and things like that. I just sounded like not something I would be into, but maybe it'll be time soon. If I'm right about Bruce Springsteen, tell me don't worry about it. There are other music to look at because there's a lot. I don't know if you know this, but there are a lot of music in the world. Not very much of it is the Beatles, frankly. I mean, the other side projects of the Beatles, sure, but like they only had what, 7 albums? Um, Sorry, are you on mic? Yeah, Sam points out that between like their output, the solo projects, and like covers and stuff like that, it definitely is a lot of them. I hadn't thought about it that way. I can see where you're coming from. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I had a big Beatles phase when I was because I never really got into it. My parents weren't like Beatles fans or anything like that. They were really into coincidentally Elton John, someone who did a very famous cover of a Beatles song. But yeah, it was never like something they listened to, so it was never something that I ever heard. But I had a bunch of friends that were like these punks who liked a lot of those bands that were like, yeah, if you give it a listen, there might be this song and that song that you enjoy, and you know, yeah, I definitely got into like the White Album stuff and like a lot of their like more psychedelic or aggressive music was definitely stuff that I was into. Some of the social commentary that they did was all right. Some of it was really bad, actually. In fact, most of their social commentary was terrible. But occasionally they would strike gold, like Piggies. Absolute banger. But yeah, you know, the more I got into their back catalog and stuff like that, I realized more and more that okay, well, like a lot of this band's fame was based on them just being white people covering black people's songs. Okay, well, that's not better than Elvis. And I had already given up Elvis at this point, so I was just like, all right, well, they're not much different than this loser. I'm kind of over it. Like I had, like Cream was one of my favorite early bands, and once I found out that, like, oh man, all of the the musical art crimes that Eric Clapton has committed in his lifetime, as well as the alleged other crimes that Eric Clapton has committed in his lifetime, I definitely like started to recognize that there's something really weird about the way that like especially British white dudes fetishized black music from American, like from the American South, especially like blues music, which was one of my first musical obsessions. Like man, that was like when I was getting really into punk, I was simultaneously getting really into blues music. I was like 13, 14 years old in high school, and like I had a cool older cousin who introduced me to like I think it was like Mississippi Fred or something like that. But I ended up finding Skip James through Ghost World. Um, if you've seen it, there's a whole section that they kind of dedicate to Skip James, really. And Skip James had like whatever I was looking for in music, and I listened to his music obsessively, and that took me through a lot of different history of the blues. Considering how prolific Skip was and how his style was so unique and so often um, kind of like used as a measuring stick, really, for a lot of artists of his time and people who would learn from Skip James, his techniques and things like that. It was a creative community, really. And the thing is like, I don't think white people have any ability to understand that music. I don't think that they have any right to play it. It makes me cringe. It makes me upset, and it's something that I've been. It's an opinion I've held since I was a kid, and I don't think it's ever going to change. White people can't play the blues. They cannot. It is physically impossible. Because it's not just music. And it's not, uh, like, listening to a blues song and understanding it as, like, verbatim, what they're trying, the words and the stories that they're telling. I think you're doing the music a disservice. And I could say more. So yeah, I had a Beatles phase. Told you I was going to be a goblin today. If you're upset, you can reach me at my email, Weston at Nerdcrafty. yeah. If you do send me hate mail, you have signed your release for me to read that on stream. By the way, so I am an actor, and that makes me uh, very good at certain. It gives me a certain set of skills that I will use to make your life very hard and roast the ever-loving shit out of you. I love pretending acting is like a superpower. It's one of my favorite things to do as an actor. I think it's a self-defense mechanism because I have to reconcile the fact that I've wasted so much of my life doing it. But that's fine. It's fine. Hey, look at this handsome little gobbo. Okay. So I think we've got all the pieces of the puzzle kind of roughed in here. Oh, I haven't done the paintbrush. Should I do a sharp or should I just do a paintbrush? I'm gonna do a sharp. Let's do a sharp. I'm gonna have to hide these layers again for a second while I make sense of whatever the hell is going on here. Like you can see the hand is just, there's like, how many images do you see here? 3? Sequential images kind of all blurring into one. Maybe 4. But yeah, that makes the hand kind of useless as far as the render goes. We kind of just have to make it up. I'm gonna go. Yeah. I mean, yeah. This is just a full new hand I am going to have to draw, which is fine. Um, I'm not good at drawing hands, but I'm not, like, I don't think anyone's here because they think I'm the best artist that ever lived. I think you're here because you know that I make weird sounds when I do draw, and that's entertaining. And the things that I do make art of are, pretty cool. I have a thing. That thing is mostly an imagination, but it's still a thing. It's sad. A lot of people my age don't really use their imagination much anymore. Thank you. It is, it's so big it's stressful sometimes. But that's, like I said, I like to pretend acting is a superpower. It's very fun. Oh, you know what I can do is I can pretend I don't have to draw the hand at all. The hand is it's got a thing on it. It's a little rapier or something. It's a little dagger with a circle, hilt. Hilt? No, it's not the word. What's the word? Little sword stopper. That's what it's called. Sword stopper. Yep. That's what we're calling it. Guard. Thank you, Sam. Sam knows guard. Sam did the fencing. Did you do fencing specifically for stage, or was it just like because you like the sport? Yeah, okay. We'll both. Column A, column B. Are you on mic now? Okay.
I'll pop
No
on.
pressure.
No, it's okay. I'm just like at the same time as I'm running the stream, I'm also like putting together this murder mystery puzzle thing that I'm gonna be doing.
Oh.
'Cause
Oh right, your game.
yeah, I'm doing pre-generated characters for people to choose from, so I wanted to make sure that everything ties together correctly. Because with a murder mystery, it could get a little messy unless I give you guys the right information.
Totally. I I've told a couple stories, like a little bit with a noir mystery element to it, and man, am I still figuring out how that works.
Oh yeah, you almost have to like build it backwards. Like, okay, who do I want to be who is the victim? How did they die? And now I'm figuring out like, okay, well, who do I want the killer to be? Okay, what clues could they leave behind? That kind of thing.
Right, and you know that if you've ever ran a game before, you know that the players sometimes are the least helpful people in trying to make that work. You have to you have to anticipate some things. Like even if you have the end insight in your mind and you're trying to lead them to it, sometimes they don't want to go.
Yeah. I imagine that this game that I'm running is probably going to have like several different possible endings depending on what goes on.
Oh, I can dig it. Yeah.
You know, like the multiple endings video game thing. Oh, you guys got this ending. Yeah, it should be fun. I've decided that the setting is like the New England countryside in 1911.
That sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's like it'll have like kind of the same feeling as like the British murder mysteries, but then at the same time it's like nobody has to worry about accents. Nobody has to worry about like the decorum because with like the new money, old money thing, it was way less important in America.
Sure.
Yeah. Someone can choose to make their character flapper-esque if they want. Be a little bit early, but, you know, there are rebels. There are people ahead of their time.
Yeah. Man, what is... Oh, I think it's like... I don't think I'm going to be able to get this circle with that circle tool. I think I have to freehand it.
Oh, because of the angle?
Yep.
Yeah, I can see it. it's like a little bit tilty.
It's gonna be funky because it's in shadow too. Maybe I'll throw that up. That'll make it make more sense for me. Alright, let's put this in a lower layer rather than the top layer, because it needs to be overlapping with the jacket. Yeah, let's put it on the pants and shirt layer. I'm saying this out loud so that I remember.
I do that all the time, man. It needs to be verbally stated to the universe so they can hold me accountable.
Yeah. Okay, well this will give us the opportunity to throw the other hand in here. That'll at least, ooh. Should I make room for sharp little clawzos? Yeah, I need to make a little bit of extra room. Just a little. And I'm not outlining the fingers. I am simply filling in the shield area. There we go. Man.
This is shaping up quickly. You're only an hour in.
Yeah, you know, I should take a lesson from this and maybe stop obsessing about every little detail, you know, in the first, in the beginning stages of a drawing, and maybe plan things out a little better in the future. But my brain works the way it do, and I have very little capacity to stop it.
An improvement is a process.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right, we're just gonna
I have
fill
a very scary question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What layer are you on?
The jeans and t-shirt layer.
Okay, just making sure.
I appreciate you. I could use that check-in occasionally. It definitely is helpful. Oh, what did I do? Oh, right. I've got to go around the other side of the fingo.
Oh, that's a
Okay, still on the right
strap.
layer.
That's a strap,
Huh?
that's why.
Yeah.
I see now. Got little bitty fingertippies hanging out.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, let's try that fill tool again. Bing. Perfect. No notes. Yeah, that looks pretty dope. Okay. What's the next step here? We've got everything kind of lined in. Do we want to go shadow first? I guess that's what we need to do. Oh man. It's fine. We'll go top layer. I was just noticing that it probably wasn't the smartest decision to throw the weapon and the shield in black. Just because that's going to be... I'm going to have to do a lot more lightening to that to bring it up to gray. But that's fine. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, huh? Right now I get to work on this horrifying thing that is in front of us.
It's just too many teeth.
So too many teeth. I've already thought about how I want to make that a thing. We're gonna just longen them. Elongin the tooth. It's so horrifying. Okay, so we have kind of the... Oopsie, that's too big. 1.7? Do I really want to... That's what we're doing. Okay, so...
Oh, that's real close in. Woo!
Yeah.
We just zoomed in there. This is maybe the most unnerving part of the whole photograph.
Thank you.
Oh,
I agree.
wow. Oh, wow. What's happening? Oh, wow.
Make big teeth.
Oh wow. Those are some chompers.
Yeah. Pretty revolting if you ask me, but you know.
Oh, why is
Something
that one
some
that
people might
shape?
find it beautiful. And I'm not here to shame anybody if they think that my teeth like this is beautiful.
I need the
Or if
Korean
their teeth look
soundbite.
like
Jacob, why?
this. Thank you.
Why,
Yeah.
Jacob?
Because beauty. Because everything is beautiful if you are drunk enough. No, that's not funny. I don't drink, and I don't
That's
think
also
that's
not true.
that's not the messaging I want to send here. But yeah, ultimately, we're leaning into anti-fashion, anti-beauty. That's where we're leaning in, folks. Today is anti-fashion day on Live with Lava Sub. Are those really the gums? No, we're not doing that. That's gonna be too hard to make work.
It's a little Nigel Thornberry, if you know what I mean.
Oh, it's a lot, Nigel Thornberry. I absolutely agree. Oh, weird. Okay, I hadn't thought about this, but basically everything's been lineless so far, and adding lines into this is going to drive me mad. So what I'm going to do is on that same top layer, I'm just going to use a nice soft brush and kind of blur these lines here so it looks more like I've painted it. I want to go with like a nice funky yellow for the teeth. Because this goblin doesn't brush.
Oh, disturbing.
They're a goblin. Can you imagine a goblin brushing their teeth?
No, I could imagine them chewing on sticks, though.
Oh, you know what I want to do? Okay, so I've done this before. It's my funky little color wheel. It'll allow me to go, and it will auto-select different colors within a certain spectrum for me. I am going to do that, because it sounds like a good old time.
Oh, good. You can pick some horrifying Oh, wow.
No, we're trying to narrow that spectrum down. There we go, yeah.
Oh, wow. Ooh, neon.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Oh, gosh. What did you eat, my dude?
Bones and bugs and other teeth.
Must be the bugs.
Yeah, probably that.
I'm like, what would tint it green?
This is definitely looking really funky, and I kind of love it. Okay.
Should make one of them like a dead tooth. Have it just be like a little bit darker than the others.
Ooh, okay.
Just a suggestion. Just to make it more horrific.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's the scary season. It's a creepy day on Live with Lava Sub. I told you already. You weren't prepared for it. Jump scare. Got him. Goblin mode. Anyway, yeah, I told you going in. This is big weird stuff today. You know.
You know,
I've got.
I knew something bad was coming when you showed me the picture and I saw the teeth. I didn't know what to expect, but it wasn't this.
It wasn't this.
It was not this.
I would apologize, but I'm still in goblin
no
mode,
need.
and I can't yet.
No need. You do you, man. You do
Thank
you.
Okay, let's.
This
Oh,
is your
that's so
art.
good. Oh, that's so
Wow.
good.
Wow.
I'm so proud. I am so proud. Okay, let's go back.
It's awful.
And that's so good.
Oh my god.
All right, we're gonna have to kind of like add a little shadow here while I'm in here, so I don't forget later. We're just gonna blender, 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 blender. Oh, it's a little too dark, I think.
Maybe it's gums, not shadow.
Yeah. There we go. There we go. Oh, that's so good. Okay.
That's hilarious when you click that other layer off. Wow. Well, you fixed the multiple teeth problem.
Oh, it's so good. Okay.
That's great.
Oh man. Okay, because
Yeah,
I'm not
that made
doing.
it better.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, because I'm not doing hard lines. Oh man. Okay. Before I delay myself any longer, I should go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'm just gonna leave it on this screen for a while because this is hilarious. Oh, wow. Wow. Just wow. Thoughts? If you have thoughts, put them in chat or in comments. I just went with the facial expression. It turned it so gleeful that I how can I hate this anymore? I think it's the eyes that really. Once he adds in the eyes, we'll get a feel for the whole goblin face.
Okay. And I'm back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, so I've not been doing any. We just had these hard colors, and I don't want to get too into the line work of it. But if I continue doing this lineless digital painting style, I'm gonna have to make some strong decisions in a second here. As far as where I'm going on the color wheel to do a lot of the darkening and lightening. I guess. You know what I should do? Let's at least do a tester run of this. I'm just gonna use my airbrush and see if I can't just go and use a simple old black and just add a little light and shadow here. I think that was the initial plan. Help me to find some of these areas without having to do line work necessarily. And also we're thinking about how to make this more less human, effectively. Jamming away over here. Yeah, sorry, keep going silent, trying to keep the conversation going. Yeah, what has everybody been watching? I think I'm always interested in this time of year because I get a chance to go back and rewatch some of my favorite horror movies and the like. Oh, that looks terrible. Let's not do that. Wait, hold on. I have an idea. I'm gonna use my blendy. My big old blendy brush. Oh, it's not that big right now. I'm just gonna smooth some of that funk out. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. That was a good idea. Glad I did this. Thank you for the suggestion, me. You're welcome. That chin would be a little pointy, right? Oh, pointy chin goblo? Gobelina? Gobeluski? Alright. Ooh. Molto bene. Let's throw eyeballs in. This. It's gonna be tough. Like the hand, those eyeballs are funky. So I just want them to be kind of silly. I think we're gonna start with some eyelashes, so I can kind of give myself a little bit of a little cheating line work. It's not line work, but it's kind of line work. I'm kind of cheating on this point I was making earlier of not doing line work, but you know who's gonna care? 0 people. Unless you care. If you care, then I don't know. Come to my house and fight me. You know, let's actually brighten that up a little bit. We don't have to be completely black eyelashes. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. Oh, piss. Okay. I forgot I was doing those on the same layer. You know what? That's okay. It's not too late to start over. So I'm going to do this on another layer. You know what? I wasn't that happy with that eye anyway. Okay. Yeah, that's way better. Okay. Let's see if I can kind of replicate something like that for the other side. That's too long. Too severe. Oh, I think that's it. That's pretty darn good. This looks a little flat, but I think that's gonna be okay. We'll be able to clean this up. You okay over there, bud? Okay. Oh no. Okay, okay. Oh, this is gonna look insane. Okay, absolutely delightful. Oh, I should be using my soft round again. That'll help me a lot. Edges of that brush are a little bit, like, off-center thumb. I kind of have to plan. My brain is kind of adapted to it. I kind of know what I know what I need to change it up, but the soft round is way more friendly in that regard. A little harder to. There we go. There's a little. Is that bad asymmetry or is it good asymmetry? I can't really decide. Yeah, I'm gonna go back. There's the nose. Nope. Yeah. Where's my little blendy? Blendy. There we go. That's. Hmm. Let me see. Nope. Not quite it either. Let's meet there in the middle, huh? Kinda. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Oopsie. Wendy. Oopsie. Too big. Too strong. Oh, interesting. Oh, I'm on the eraser tool. Okay, that's why that's happening. There we go. There we go. Love him. Oh my god. Alright. We got these funky kind of eyeballs all set up. Let's make them even weirder, huh? Let's find where they're looking. Start with a pupil and annoy myself later. How's that sound? Sounds pretty good, Weston. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's a good eyeline. Let's paint that in. Starting out with some pretty big pupils because I want them to look like giant funky eyes, so. In case you were curious. There we go. Need to elongate a little. Yes, okay. Now, we're gonna do that fun trick I did earlier. Another end of the spectrum. Yeah, right around here. See what this looks like. I think this will be fun. Or it'll be really annoying. Let's find out. Nope. Oh, you know what I want to do? I don't want to use this circle tool. It's going to be too hard to be consistent. This circle tool worked great. Let's just remember this. Alright, well, let's straight up. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I love this. Oh, we're in the climax of Akira, y'all. Oh, poor Tetsuo. Thank you very much. Okay, now, let's shape those to the eye. Just erase, erase, erase. So I very smartly put this on a layer, a different one, a different layer. Very smartly. Oh, not that smartly, I guess. There we go. What did I do up here? Okay, it's fine. Yeah, that looks great. Oh, that looks terrible. I mean, terrifying. It's a nasty little man. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Sam. You know, I'm gonna dupe these so that I can go over the top layer and kind of leave the remainder of that there, while I can still kind of blend and go pretty hard on it without making them disappear. I'm going to lower the opacity of the ones I'm not using though. Yeah, okay, that's what's fine. Eraser tool. Again. Bump that strength up just a bit. What's next? What's next? Let's work on this hair here. Get some eyebrows in here. Just gonna throw those in real quick. I'm gonna get a nice funky brush. Lots of extra lines in it. Like this one. I think when it's so small it won't really matter, but it'll give us nice ends. Did I decide what color hair this person has yet? No. We're gonna say purple, evidently. I'm already on purple, so that's what we're doing. Purple hair now. Oh, we can go a little bigger. That's convenient. Oh, I'm in this. Okay, I'm in the color wheel selection. You know, I think I like the blue more though, now that I'm looking at it. Let's go with a little bit darker. Let's actually do a little bit grayer as well. Yeah. Yeah, that looks kind of nice. It's a different vibe that I think initially it was going for, but it's pretty silly and I kind of love it. Oh, I didn't check what layer I was on and I kind of screwed it up, but that's fine. I don't really care. At this point, Yeah. That's not right. Easily remedied, though. Go back to my blendy. My blendy friendy. Oh, we're an eraser tool. What? I don't know if you got that, but that was not at all the brush that I picked. That's funny. Uh, alright. Got some hair in there. Let's get rid of the background layer. Ooh, very creepy. Uh, let's throw this little quaff in here. What layer do I want to do this on, though? It's not necessary to do it on top layer. Let's actually do it down here. New layer. Because it's under the cap. Yeah, I've never used this ballpoint pen tool ever in my life. I don't know why it selected it. What is happening? Hey! Alright, it's starting to come together. Let's define a lip or two here. The top lip is probably going to stay just like it is, but I want to try and define this bottom lip a little bit. Let's... It's an insult to all goblins everywhere, Sam. How dare you? Oh, totally. Jesus, that's horrible. Thank you. Oh, good. Okay. Um, Sam said, this guy looks like Pete Davidson. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Sam was saying, that this looks like, Eric Trump. It's got, like, his no top lip, funky bottom lip. It's like how people have done the pantomime of Eric Trump, and I can't unsee it now. But I forgive you, Sam. Yeah. Sorry to all Pete stands out there. I really do enjoy Pete Davidson's work. So, if you hear this, Pete, don't come for me. I would kiss you. I would kiss you right on the face. If you want. If you're like down for it. No pressure. It's interesting. I've heard that like people, I have said, I don't necessarily think Pete Davidson's that attractive or whatever, but I don't know. Uh it is kind of like an energy thing, like you're saying. Sam's saying it's like, the energy is nice. But I also like, I think there's definitely something about him that I find attractive and kind of always have. So I was bewildered at the news that people didn't like think that Pete Davidson was attractive. Um, Again, Pete, if you're listening, no kisses. No, I'm pretty sure I'm too old for you, Pete. I think you're quite a bit younger than me. Yeah, you gotta let him be blessed. No, I kind of, I sort of, I think this is lovely. Thank you. I'm sure that this goblin would actually really appreciate that. Let's go with that round brush again. And let's kill the flow and strength and just do a little bit of a lip lining here. Hot girl shit. Queen. Yeah. Um, it's a gobby thotty. Yeah. Okay, that's pretty good. We're gonna go back into. I've got. Oh, I gotta do the ear. That's what I'm missing. Funny, the ear and the rapier are on the same layer. That's it. It's the only. That's all that's on those layers. I needed. Thank you. Um. I have to use my ear as a reference so I remember how ears work when I do like the lines for this. So, um, I don't know how to do ears under the best circumstances. So I'm gonna. Fair enough. Um, he also has, he doesn't have to anymore. No one's gonna come for Matt and be like, "Hey, you need to start putting ears on stuff."
Well, like when he does ears, it's just like the inside of it is just like a T, like a curvy T. Or I guess it's more like a J.
Let's see what this looks like. It might look completely ass, but it's stage 1. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was going for, actually. We're just gonna pop in this other layer and kind of define the area that would be kind of in shadow here, so we don't have to keep coming back. We're just doing it real light. 15 minutes left? Oh my goodness. Okay, y'all. Well, while I am kind of wrapping up this ear, I guess I'm going to talk your ear off. Although you could argue I've been doing that this whole stream. But I want you to know we're trying to raise funds for my brother Zach. He's in a rough situation. It's not my business to tell, but if you could go and check out our Streamlabs store, we have Iron Hearts shirts that will help my goodest bestest bud. Somebody who's had my back and saved my ass more times than I can count. It would mean the world to me if anybody listening would go and snag one of those amazing, awesome shirts with the art by our fantastic producer Sam, as well as a couple of sprites by Sean, one of the players. He's done his own Bjorn character that you can see on the shirt. And you'll get a part of Nerdcrafty history. This is one of those things that this is a limited run for the shirts. And and it's available in 4 different colors. We're only going to have 300 of them available, and then they're gone forever. But the 100% of the proceeds go to my big bro Zach, and he is he's trying to get out of this tough situation that he's in. Again, I don't want to say too much. It's not my business, but it would mean the world to us. I also have some shirts that would help me out in my funky situation. The Mad Mardigan Can You Ride shirts available on Streamlabs as well. And yeah, if you like any of those shirts, those all are going to help us all out. We all work together here on this crazy project that we started just about a year ago. And any support that you can offer is graciously appreciated, and completely unexpected, if I'm being 100% with you. It's not something that we take lightly. When people believe in us and have our backs, especially in a financial capacity, we understand the sacrifices we all make in our day-to-day lives to try and support the things that we all believe in, and in fact, if you do end up getting one of our shirts, please go ahead and hit me up in my DMs. We'll work out some kind of artwork for you to kind of sweeten the pot for you. If you're listening to this, use the secret password nasty little green goblin, and I will I'll work out some little commission for you. It can't be huge or anything like that. I'm going to limit it to like probably one character, not like textual character, like a portrait. You know what I mean. But yeah, the support for our channel means everything. I I really believe in the work that we do. I believe that this could be something that we do for a living, and I know that the only way that we're ever going to be able to do that is with support of people like our listeners, our fans, our friends, our families. So if you're out there listening, I really appreciate you even just being here today, watching me draw one horrific photograph into one horrific art. Other than that, it's like I said, Zach's been kind of in a funky position, so we're not going to have Iron Hearts for a minute. But I have just recently pre-recorded a couple of episodes of You Awaken in a Strange Place by Jacob Andrews of the Drawfee channel. Shout out, the goats of art YouTube. Jacob inspires me in a ton of different ways, but in one way that's been really fun lately is by playing You Awaken in a Strange Place, the very simple rule game, TTRPG rule set that he made. It feels like it was catered to my type of player, someone who loves to improv, who's not super heavy into the structure and rules of D&D, but wants to tell a compelling, fun story with their friends. It's more of an improv game than a TTRPG, or at least traditionally, you know. The rules are, I think, 7 pages long, and half of that's just for DMs. But it's a great game. You can play it if you've never played D&D before. All of the rules are kind of explained in a very straightforward manner that I think is easy to understand for just about anybody, regardless of your level of play or how many times you've played a TTRPG. Those games I played with some very talented people. Shouts out again to Scott, to Bailey, to Nick, and to Alexis, the incredible talents that we were able to get to guest star in You Awaken in a Strange Place. All of them have incredible creative abilities and have been honing those for a long, long time to get there. You can find them all in the upcoming episodes. Follow their hashtags. Sam might be able to drop those in the chat, but I know that we're wrapping up pretty quickly here. So, yeah, if you don't get to, if it's not up there now, it'll be up there. And I think is it this Friday or next Friday? So you'll be able to catch the first episode, Neon Rain, starring Scott and Bailey, this Friday. And that's going to be, well, I don't want to tell you too much about it, but it's a cyberpunk kind of noir story that I drew a lot of influence from stories like Dark City to bring my aspect of the GM screen, GM play kind of to the table. Like I love that movie, and there was a couple of moments where I was like, all right, I'm nodding pretty hard at Dark City right now, but I feel like it's obscure enough I could get away with it. So if you catch the references, you get I'll pat you gently on the head and tell you you're a good little buddy. Good job. So keep your eyes out for that game and another game that'll be running in a couple of weeks, starring Nick and Alexis. I don't even know if we came up with a proper title for it, but their character names are kind of a functioning title. There's Jumpin' JP and Killshot Kate in an Old West kind of adventure. These are totally improvised games, by the way. There's no amount of prep that is even allowed effectively for these games. So everything that you'll be hearing in these performances is literally coming off the top of our heads. And I think if I hadn't have told you that, you might not even notice, considering the level of professionalism amongst these players. So definitely give those a watch, and keep an eye out for other streams we're doing. This month has kind of been a lot of scrambling for keeping our regular schedule, and sometimes you get a little bit of a replacement for one kind of content for another in trying to keep that schedule up. So you might be able to see Sam play some Sims later this month, maybe even possibly in the next month. You might see, well, any number of kinds of programming. I know that we have some holiday stuff coming up we're all planning for, and we're excited to be bringing you everything that we do. I think even when we're scrambling, we're putting out some really great stuff here. So keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes on Nerdcrafty. I think this is about as far as I'm going to get in this drawing today. So I'm just going to close out and say I hope you all have a wonderful week. I hope that I see you here next week at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Tuesday. And yeah, have a really great night. Go watch a scary movie and come back next week and tell me what you watched. Or hit me in my DMs at Lava Submersible anywhere across the internet, or most places. Instagram and TikTok, definitely. Let me know what horror movies you're watching. Let me know what you're digging. Request a drawing for stream. I don't care. I got all the time in the world, my friends. I'm sharing it with you. So have a good one. What's that? Damn right. Alright, well, I've been Weston, aka Lava Submersible. I hope you have a beautiful evening. We'll see you next week.